is hoping for an early release. The question is focused on Dimitri's plans. Where will he stay? What will he do? And whether he will get back into crime. If they happen to say no to release me early on parole, then of course I'll be upset. But I will accept it. No one will know the decision right away, whether you get out early or must serve the full term. It's what the court decides. In another cell block, inmates who don't follow the rules face harsher treatment. This is a regimented place where convicts who have violated the regime are held. Here, inmates stay in cells all day. Unless it's nighttime, the beds are locked up. All the inmates in this area are monitored 24/7. Some are reading books, someone is just walking around the cell. So nobody is sleeping, nobody is reading the rules. Behind this door is a convict who spent time in a correctional.
I'm not gonna cry. You're different. It's Russia. Soviet Union. It's the, I can say, crazy.
A few days after Dimitri's parole hearing, the administration has a response. Without the administration's support, he will spend the next year and a half in prison camp.
A heart-to-heart.
My mother, she always really supported me. I miss their jokes, their love. I really miss this. I miss it every day.
Здравствуйте. Ну что, Дима, ты у нас недавно прошел комиссию на условно-срочное освобождение. Хочу тебя обрадовать. Решение комиссии только было скоподировано и материал направлено в суд с поддержкой администрации.
Sorry, guys.
Ну так что давай, не подведи колонию.
Wait for me.
Вообще классно. Освобождается, чтобы все было нормально, как мы планировали. Ну, я безумно рад.
I'm extremely happy.
Уже просто мечтаю оказаться.
My thoughts are already of being. We are all here temporarily. Soon, my turn will come. I think that in freedom, we will definitely meet and keep our friendship when we are both free people. National Geographic Investigates continues next. to
Wait.
jail high.
Subscribe to me. Subscribe to me.
Trump presidency. Totally normal day, right? When I went to bed last night, I thought the big suspenseful news event of the day, the one event on today's calendar that had the biggest potential for real drama, was going to be the hearing in the criminal case involving President Trump's campaign chairman. Paul Manafort, already convicted on multiple felonies, already facing a likely prison sentence of 7 to 10 years. The drama underlying today's hearing for Manafort is that he could be facing an additional decade in prison on top of the 7 to 10, which really, I mean, when you start adding it up, that could be the whole enchilada if you're already 70 years old and not in great health. He is facing an additional decade in prison, potentially on top of his other sentence, if the judge in his case concludes that he breached his plea agreement by lying to prosecutors after he had agreed to cooperate with them. So Manafort himself was in court today. We got these great sketches by Art Lane, the great courtroom artist. Manafort was allowed, as you can see here, was allowed to wear a suit this time instead of his jail jumpsuit. He is now white-haired. As you can see, he's using a cane. Reporters who were at the hearing today described him as leaning heavily on that cane. But with all the prosecutors there, and with Manafort's whole defense team there, and with Manafort himself in the courtroom, everybody there in person today, in federal court in D.C. today, the judge in his case ultimately elected to not today make a decision on the substance of these current allegations against him, which again, that he broke his deal by lying repeatedly to prosecutors. So Manafort was there in court today. He then had to go back to jail. He will be back in court a week from Monday, and then that will be the day that this same judge will finally conduct a hearing behind closed doors to determine whether Manafort really is going to be on the hook for all these extra years potentially tacked onto his sentence. So that's going to be a closed-door, sealed hearing a week from Monday. And it is going to be sealed because of the sensitivity around Manafort's testimony thus far and how much of his criminal case still bears upon other still ongoing investigations and other people who have not yet been charged. Remember, Paul Manafort has done at least 9 interview sessions with the special counsel's office. He has testified before the grand jury at least twice. We will ultimately get some redacted transcript of that Manafort hearing after they've gone through and taken out all the sensitive stuff. But they're holding that next Manafort hearing behind closed doors because they're expecting a lot of it to not yet be suitable for public consumption because of all of the ongoing cases that it relates to. And it tells you something about this presidency and this moment in American history, that the sitting president's campaign chairman turning up in court today with white hair, using a cane, trying to avoid the extra decade in prison that could determine whether or not he dies behind bars. It tells you something about this time period we are living through and this presidency we are living through, that doesn't make the front page today for this particular president. It doesn't make probably the first 10 pages of the paper tomorrow morning. Because on a day like today, it just couldn't compete. When the government shutdown crisis finally started to end today, with the president appearing in the Rose Garden to announce that the government will reopen under its old funding levels with no change in policy whatsoever, with no freaking wall between the United or a down payment on it or a sample portion of it or any other thing related to a wall whatsoever. When the president announced today that he will accept the exact same offer he rejected over a month ago, that started this whole catastrophe for the government and for hundreds of thousands of people who work for the government and their families. When the president today made that announcement that he said he would never ever make, which is that the shutdown will end in exchange for doing absolutely nothing. When that dark cave opened up on the White House lawn today and swallowed all light and made it briefly, eerily cold and breezy for a moment, what that moved off the front page of every newspaper in the country and off every moment of TV news in the country, it was not just what was going on at that moment with his already convicted campaign chairman. It also moved this. The indictment of the president's longtime friend and longest-serving political advisor, the self-promoting Republican Party gadfly, Roger Stone. We will be talking about the end of the shutdown tonight. At the moment that the president declared the end of the shutdown today, it displaced from the headlines momentarily this indictment. Roger Stone was actually, it turns out, indicted yesterday under seal. The special counsel's office had requested that the federal court in D.C. keep that indictment secret yesterday, keep it under seal until Stone could be arrested this morning. Quote, the United States of America, by and through special counsel Robert S. Mueller III, respectfully move this court to seal the accompanying indictment and arrest warrant and to delay entry on the public docket of this motion to seal and all related matters until the defendant named is in custody. Quote, law enforcement believes that publicity resulting from the disclosure of this indictment prior to arrest will increase the risk of the defendant fleeing and destroying or tampering with evidence. It is therefore essential that any information concerning the pending indictment in this district be kept sealed prior to the defendant's arrest. These facts present an extraordinary situation and a compelling governmental interest that justifies not only the sealing of the indictment and all other pleadings, warrants, records, and files in this case, but also the delay in the public docketing of these sealed proceedings and the accompanying order until the defendant's arrest. So that is dated yesterday from the special counsel. That's the special counsel saying to the judge, this indictment should be sealed. Our request to seal the indictment should be sealed. This should all be kept off the docket until we've got it. And the judge apparently agreed, because the first sign that we all got of what happened today to Roger Stone was when this footage was caught on video by a CNN producer who had been assigned by the network to essentially stake out Roger Stone's house in the event that anything like this might happen. And this in itself is sort of a remarkable milestone in the Mueller investigation. We've seen a lot of people charged in this case and marched in and out of courthouses. We have seen them in SUVs pulling in and out of parking lots outside government buildings. Their movements have been tracked even around potential testimony before secret grand juries.
You wasn't like that, baby.
But nobody else got arrested by the FBI in this fashion. I mean, even when they raided Paul Manafort's house in Virginia, remember all the drama about that? When they took away his files and his computers and his iPads and his nice suits and his ostrich jacket and everything.
I'll fix you two in a minute.
At least then they left Paul Manafort himself behind. This is the first time where we have actually seen them grab the dude from his house.
Oh, sorry, Joshy.
And take him into custody. Now, we do not have to speculate as to why the special counsel's office and the FBI chose to do it. The special counsel's office laid out their reasons in their motion to seal. Right? They told that judge in D.C. yesterday, they believed Roger Stone would flee and or destroy or tamper with evidence if he knew that he was being indicted. And so